Hartman. Jensen.
Here.
McManus.
Here.
Phillips.
Here.
Solomon.
Here.
Stazen. Zelmer.
We have a quorum. So the first item on the agenda, since Chairman Zelmer is not here, is I'm seeking a motion to appoint Jewel Jensen as the Chair Pro Tem for this meeting.
Second.
I'm seeking a motion. Can you make it a motion?
I motion to have Jewel Jensen take over as our fearless leader tonight, pro temp.
I'll second them.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Ooh, they're passing the gavel. No. Riveting.
Okay, next is the approval of the minutes from February 21st, 2024. Has everyone had an opportunity to read through as presented?
Yep.
Do we have any revisions?
No. Nope.
Do we have any questions?
No, but I can make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of February 21st to
Thank you, Lisa.
2024.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next on the agenda is Michael's 5-minute field guide.
Yippee.
This is almost carved out for you. Seeing double is tonight's 5-minute field guide.
I saw double a lot this weekend.
As the suburban housing market exploded in the years following World War II, thousands of homes, all similar in design and material, sprung up from New Jersey to Los Angeles. By the mid-1960s, songwriters and pop singers wrote and sang of the sameness of suburbia with its cookie-cutter houses. While preservationists are grappling with the protection of thousands of these mid-20th century tract homes, other communities have discovered historic buildings that are duplicated on a much smaller scale. In fact, 80 years before Melvina Reynolds, Jerry Goffin, or Carole King lamented architectural sameness, duplication of buildings was not uncommon, but it occurred on a smaller scale. When restoring a historic house or commercial storefront, it is exciting to find a duplicate or a twin in another community, near or far, such as this example where the houses on the far right are several states apart. Perhaps in finding a twin, even more learning about the origin of the building or discovering lost details or the name of the architect are possible. Sometimes those duplicate buildings exist within a single community. At Geneva, several examples of duplicate or twin buildings exist. We just need to look for them, and I'm providing 3 examples in tonight's 5-minute field guide. 218 South 1st Street, which is on the left, was built between 1885 and 1890 and remodeled in 1912. The porch dates to 1946. And in 1975, or so about 1975, a fireplace was added to the south side of the building. Its twin building sits right next door at 212 South 1st Street and was built in 1887. And again, the house has been remodeled, and a porch and fireplace were added between 1923 and 1930 when the building was remodeled by Benjamin and Lottie Miller. The Jerome Ellis House, which was built sometime between 1885 and 1891, was built on State Street, but was moved to South 2nd Street in 1925 when the front porch was enclosed and a fireplace was added. Its twin is the John and Sarah Donaldson House, which was built at 15 South 6th Street, and which is just around the corner from the State Street side of the Jerome Ellis House. The Donaldson House had dormers added after 1908. These 2 commercial buildings were built by Henry Bond Fargo, a full decade apart. The Fargo commercial block on the left was built in 1914, with the Wilson brothers providing the carpentry and Charles Fargo being the mason. The storefront was remodeled approximately 30 years later by August Wilson. If you note, The building on the left, the central parapet, was altered after 1945. The Fargo Theater block was built in 1924, also by the Wilson brothers, and its storefronts were remodeled in 1947. So if you didn't succeed in using February's 5 architectural terms in casual conversation since our last meeting, can you discover other duplicate buildings in Geneva this month? That's the end of my 5-minute field guide. Are there any questions?
Bravo.
Thank you, Michael. Next on the agenda is review of building permit application at 418 South Sixth Street, case number 2024-008, addition at second floor of a contributing property. Michael, would you like to present?
Thank you. So the property is located in the far southwestern corner of the local Geneva Historic District, and it's also located in the far southwest corner of the central Geneva Historic District, listed in the National Register of Historic Places in 1979. The Beckman Flynn House, which is now owned by Paul and Mary Agnes Zellmer, was built on State Street and was moved in 1928 by David Flynn. He moved the house to this location on South Sixth Street and remodeled the house extensively, including the large sloped gable and providing an enclosed porch where the front door is. You're probably familiar with this property because we've seen it before, and so you know that one of the people who lived in the house very early on was Dr. Otto Stader, who was a veterinarian who was fairly notorious or well-known for inventing the Stader splint that was first used in his veterinarian practice, but then was later adapted for human use. After the Staders moved out, the house was occupied by a couple of other families, and then it was occupied from 1956 till 2003 by Harry and Alice Monroe. You may remember from previous work on the house that the Monroes were heavily involved in classical music, and they lived in the house for quite some time and did some alterations to the house. The house was then extensively remodeled around 2003 to 2005, when it was one of the houses featured on the Geneva Christmas Walk. In 2008, when Paul and Mary Agnes Zellmer bought it, they added an addition to the rear and have done other improvements to the property. So tonight's proposal is to provide a functional master bedroom suite utilizing a bathroom that was installed in the 2003-2005 remodeling, and to use a bedroom by expanding it a little bit to make it more functional for furnishings. So there's been 2 renderings provided of what the addition would look like. The drawing below shows the small addition, and here to highlight what work is being proposed is the extension of the south dormer, and so the south wall of that dormer or cross gable is shown in the right-hand side. Both this gable and the front gable will have a rectangular attic louver installed in place of the round, overscaled louver that exists presently that was installed before 2005. To identify the scope of work, the roof will be an asphalt shingle roof to match the existing roof. The entire cross gable on the south will be clad with LP Smart Side siding, smooth siding, and the historic windows will have to be replaced because the room is being altered. The egress windows need to meet current building code, so they are using new clad windows in the same configuration as the historic windows, and so that the new bedroom will meet emergency egress requirements. The Zellmers have committed to maintaining and saving the historic windows and storing those on site, but they do not meet current code. There is other work being proposed on the property, but it is not under the purview of the Historic Preservation Commission, so just to identify, you can see on the lower right, there are some coral or diamond paned windows that are currently in the dining room, and they are being moved to the south wall of the kitchen. The windows in the bathroom will be, on the second floor bathroom, will be altered somewhat, and where the leaded diamond pane windows came out of the dining room facing the rear wall, that will be replaced with patio doors. But again, those last three items are not under the jurisdiction of the HPC. So with that, I would turn the lectern over to Ken Brandeis, who is presenting on behalf of the Zelmers, and he can fill in any details I've missed or answer any of your questions. So Ken?
Yeah, sorry, Paul couldn't be here today.
No, I don't think he's worrying about that.
He said he wouldn't be involved anyways. So, you've gone over the project, and they're adding that dormer up there to extend it and make it more functional, and adding the code-compliant egress windows. Being an architect, I know what that's like, so, you know, that's code compliant, so. And then the rest of it's trying to conform with the design of the building. So that's about it. I mean, it's just to make it more functional. That bedroom was too small for them to put it in any size queen bed, you know, and plus the bathroom was too small too. So that kind of gives them more of a convenience.
Just had a
Sorry?
question about the attic vents. Are they just being changed just for aesthetic reasons?
Yeah, just for aesthetic reasons, yeah, functional. I think what was up there was kind of, birds would get in there and such, you know, so. That's just what
Is
they
there any
wanted.
indication that were there previously vents there before the circular one?
I believe Paul said that there was something, some framing up there, but the louver that's there now is a FIPON or a plastic louver that was installed in 2003-ish. But there is a square opening, I understand, that is framed out there. So there was something there, whether it was a window or a vent, it's unclear.
I didn't see, but did they have any old pictures of the house before?
No, they didn't submit any.
That's too bad, you know? I would like to have seen what it was like before they moved it, you know?
We've not discovered any pictures of it before it was moved.
That would be interesting.
Okay, commissioners, do you have any other questions, concerns, comments?
No, I'm just holding my smart-ass comments back, that's all.
Lisa?
You gotta make it last till 7:30.
I know.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the benefit of having somebody who's an existing commissioner submit something means that they probably already know what we're supposed to be doing in order to meet our standards. So, no, I don't have anything to say, really.
I agree, and an architect on top of it, so it's,
You would hope so, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it works out well.
I will say, and I mentioned in the staff report, that their original concept was to alter their existing front bedroom, which is their current master bedroom. And they brought in a couple, Paul and Mary Agnes brought in a couple of concepts to review, and I really discouraged them from the front proposal that was being made as one of the options because it would have altered, and this was really, I think, what Paul and Mary Agnes really felt was the better solution anyway, but I did want everybody to know that this was not their first shot. They had a couple of options that they did bring in to review.
They're gonna bring the dormer closer to the front facade, is that?
They were going to add a new dormer similar to this dormer. Yes, at the front wall, yes, so they could get a bathroom in at the front bedroom, and that would have really altered the character of the house. So they, I think they looked at what was the apparent, maybe first apparent option, like a lot of applicants do, but were willing to look at other things and came up with this concept.
Okay, does somebody want to prepare a motion?
I will. I've got one right now.
Okay, good. for you. Go ahead, go ahead,
Based on
Kevin.
the information presented, expansion of the cross gable and changes to the attic vent appear to conform to SOI standards and Geneva's adopted design guidelines for historic properties.
Your microphone, please. You're going to have to repeat that.
Let's start all over again.
Yes,
Okay.
it is a good
Oh,
one.
gosh.
Take two. Based on on the information presented, expansion of the cross gable and changes to the attic vent appear to conform to SOI standards and Geneva's adopted design guidelines for historic properties. I move to approve the additions for 418 South Sixth Street as requested.
I will second that.
Great, did we take a vote? Roll call?
Jensen,
Aye.
McManus,
Aye.
Phillips,
Aye.
Solomon.
Aye.
You can hit that gavel too, can't you?
Who do I?
I don't know.
Motion is passed.
Thank you.
Come on, you got to have the power.
Land that.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the secretary's report, staff updates. Do we have anything to report?
I do have a little bit to report. I have only processed one permit since our last meeting. That was for a new sign and awning at a commercial property. However, we have been deluged with many requests for information about projects that should be forthcoming over the next several months. So I think that the business of the commission will be picking up in the next month or so. So
Darn.
get your sleep and eat your Wheaties. But that's all I have for the secretary's report.
Wax poetic over there.
Thank you, Michael. Next on the agenda is new business from the commission. Do we have any new business?
I have a couple questions for Michael. It's not new business per se, but
Let's hear it.
Go for it.
I just would like an update on the property that we looked at or discussed last meeting on North River, to see if they're still in the process of, with the city, and maybe an update on the Flagstone Little Owl building.
Sure. So the 302 North River Lane project that you reviewed last month is in the process of making revisions based on comments they've received. Staff did have a follow-up meeting with them. They have not forwarded any revisions or any of the additional documentation that's been requested by staff for the Planning and Zoning Commission review. So at this point, it's in their ball court.
They seemed a little shell-shocked after the last meeting.
A little surprised by the feedback.
Yeah.
I think that it was information that they had heard, but it was reinforced here, certainly at the commission level. And I think they're going back and reevaluating parts of their plan based on the feedback. So I think that, you know, the commission was very thorough in their comments, and the public was brought up good points. So now it's really in their hands to make any revisions. The minutes that you approved this evening are, again, the official minutes of the meeting. Those will be passed on to the Planning and Zoning Commission when they come back before the Planning and Zoning Commission. The Little Owl Building, 101 West State, is back under contract, from my understanding, and by the original, or the most recent applicants who were in front of the HPC. I don't have any current updates as to what the project schedule is for that building yet, but they are moving forward.
The last I heard was they were looking at June or July.
June or July for what?
Open?
No.
Yeah, I don't know what that schedule is at this point. I know they have not submitted for updated building permit. I don't know if there's any revisions they're making.
I didn't even realize there was work going on there.
There's no work going on there right now, but they had following the HPC meeting, when they brought in everything, and then, their project was approved by the HPC, the permit was prepared, and then it had not been picked up yet. So it's just waiting for them to close the deal the rest of the way, and then pick up the permit and proceed.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they're still aware. Didn't we request a report on some of the structural
Yes.
issues that were identified and that staff would
Yes.
go out? So there's no schedule for that yet.
That has,
Kevin?
your microphone. To answer your question about some of the requests that the HPC had made, that, of course, would be submitted with any revisions they brought back in to pick up their permit. We have not received any of that information yet.
Thank you.
Anything else while you've got me here? Okay.
Okay. All right, next on the agenda is from the public. Please remember to state your name for the record and provide your public comments.
Keep it quick.
I want to make sure you guys stay here till 7:30. Gotta get your money's worth here. No.
You don't want to go
Al
down
Watts,
that road.
Preservation Partners, 8 Indiana Street, St. Charles. Just have a couple of little things for you briefly. Next week is our 50th anniversary as an organization. So throughout the rest of the year, you should be hearing more about that. So we're very excited about that. Secondly, we're very excited that the Japanese Garden, which is one of the 4 properties we operate for the Forest Preserve District of Kane County, will be open to the public on Saturdays. So we will now be able to have both the villa and the garden open Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, noon to 3. So that's a very positive thing. In the past, the Forest Preserve has reserved Saturdays in the garden for private events, and through negotiations, we've worked out a deal so that we can have it open to the public. The final thing is, I've had some of our members bring this up, and I've heard this issue bounce around in the public a little bit, which is to everybody that meets me asks me about what's going on with the blacksmith shop. And, all that I know is the most recent thing that I'm aware of is that Shodine, sued the city and they're doing some kind of lawsuit thing, whatever. The other thing that people ask me about is concern about it violating building codes, and there does not appear to be anything that has been moved forward on that. And I'm aware of several people that have brought that up to building code enforcement, and so it's disappointing that it does not appear that there's anything being done regarding that. Of course, there could be a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that I know nothing about. So I just wanted to let you know what I'm hearing. You're probably hearing the same thing, but just making sure you guys are also aware of that the public is concerned about that. So that's it.
Thank you, Al. Michael, can you address any of those concerns, or no?
The policy is that we don't
Oh, we
discuss
don't.
these items.
That's right, sorry about that, Al. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Yes.
Okay, George?
Motion to adjourn.
I can second that.
Okay,
Wait, we
meeting
gotta-
adjourned.
We have to.
Oh, we have to vote. Oh,
Maybe an all those in favor or something?
Yeah.
all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Now I can?